So, we haven't done an opening video in quite a while, and today we're going to be discussing how to face the London system, the opening for communists. So, first move, knight f6. I know maybe some of you play the King's Indian, maybe some of you play the Nimzo Indian, but knight f6, as long as you play it, this repertoire can be for you. So bishop f4, of course, marking it the London. This isn't going to apply for the Jabava, right? When they play the Jabava, you kind of have to play d5 to stop e4 because that's the point of the Jabava. So this is just going to be a pure London system video. Now, the line I'm going to recommend to you guys is pawn to c5. In my mind, e4 is more tactical, d4 is more positional. Positional players don't like being faced with the c5 pawn. From my experience, they don't like facing c5 right away, right? They like getting that square of pawns on d4, c4, d5, c5, and then you're taught whoever releases the tension first is worse, and then blah, blah, blah. But no, c5, very good. Confront them right away. This forces them to make a decision. So here they have a few moves. The worst one is knight f3. I would say they have knight f3, pawn d5, pawn takes, e3, and c3. This theory is very easy to learn. Knight f3, why is this a mistake? Well, after pawn takes, I doubt they're going to take with the queen, right? They probably went knight f3 to take with the knight, and then you win because of e5. So you might be like, hey, shouldn't I go queen a5 first? No, because they slide back to d2. So pawn e5, a nice fork, and after bishop takes, you do indeed win a bishop. So that's kind of a nice trap line. If they do end up taking with the queen, you just gain a tempo. Now they need to decide where to put their queen. If they go queen c3, e5 is a very nice move. And after they take, they lose a queen. If they go queen back to d1 or d2 or whatever, we are just going to play d6 and g6. So you're going to get the dark squared bishop in the fianchetto, and the light squared bishop has this nice diagonal. One pawn committed for the dark squared bishop, one pawn committed for the light squared bishop. Pawn structure is good. Typically, then life is good. So, okay, c5, what else? Okay, let's say they take. You can go queen a5 check. This is a line. However, I'm going to recommend you go knight a6. So they cannot hold on to the pawn with b4, and you're just going to win it back right away. Right? If they go like queen d4 to try to hold on, then you go queen a5 check, and you enter that equal endgame. But the nice thing about this line is it's just so easy to learn. Like, you're going to take with the knight, you're going to go d6, you're going to go g6, you get the fianchettoed bishop, you get the good light squared bishop, you have the open c file to aim in on c2, and I mean, if anything, black is slightly better, which is exactly what you want out of the opening. So that's if they take, not so serious. Now, if they go d5, how do you play this one? Well, I don't know if you guys know, but the Banco is my favorite opening, and this is a better Banco. So you go pawn to b5, and why is this a better Banco? I mean, this looks ridiculous. But the reason is they really need their bishop on c1, right? Because the point of the Banco is to get them to extend on the light squares, and that weakens their dark squares in turn. So this bishop really needs to be on c1. Otherwise, a lot of pressure. There's so many tactics. I mean, I can make a Banco series and show my games with it. Favorite opening of all time. So this is a good Banco for you because the bishop is misplaced, so the b2 pawn is weak, and we are going for the fianchetto and d6 anyways. So improved Banco. Very nice. What else? Okay, so now they have c3 and e3. See, we're breezing through this video. I mean, it's like 5 lines, but they're all super easy. Queen to b6, right? Punishing the fact that the bishop has left c1, so it's no longer guarding b2. And now, typically here, they go queen b3. So c3, a very not great move, a very big sideline, or a very small sideline. I just like to get them into this pawn structure where they have double isolated pawns. Yes, they have the open a file, so we might go a6 sometime, but rotate the knight over to d5, rotate the knight over to b4. You just have an immense amount of pressure, and their position doesn't make too much sense. The easy way of always playing it is, again, just d6, right? So it's going to be kind of like a system. So that's if they go pawn to c3. Now, the funny thing is, if they go pawn to e3, you still go queen to b6. And now, what to do? So, I don't know if your opponents are going to play b3. I've never gotten b3. If I did get b3, I would just go knight c6, and it's just, again, a normal position. And they have weakened dark squares, so that's going to make our fianchetto even better. Balanced, apparently. But knight c3 is the critical line. So let's get into it. This is funny. So against GMs, or against super low rated players, probably what you want to do is queen takes b2, pick up the poison pawn. Now, here, the funny thing is, I'm going to stop saying the funny thing is, it's not that funny. They go knight to b5, threatening this fork, and there's only one move for black. What do you think the move is? You might have seen this idea in London courses before. Probably not in this position, but knight f to d5. You attack the bishop, you defend c7, and everything is fine. Now, the problem with taking the pawn on b2, even though I still like it, and why you should do it against GMs or people that don't know what a threefold repetition is they could get a threefold repetition here, and the game would be a draw. So, how to draw the London system, right? But look at this. Once I faced a cheater, and look at this line. This line is sick. I don't think it's even theory, but it is the best they could do. Pawn to a3, ridiculous. Pawn to a6, testing this knight. Where is it going to go? Well, they're going to go rook b1, and we still need to go queen a2. Try to find the engine move here. It's crazy. Queen c1. Chess.com gives that a brilliancy. But I still like this position for black. So you take, and the point of queen c1 was that now your queen is trapped. There's no escape. So you have to take the rook. Then you damage up their pawn structures. Then you push because you want to shut down their light squared bishop. And, okay, what do we have? We have like a rook, a bishop, and a pawn for a queen. So 9 for 9. Their pawn structure is not so good. I think our pawn chain is good against their bishop. And we're going to go e6, and it's... I mean, I really like this position for black. You're going to take on a3, right? They might go queen b2. You could take on a3. You could go knight c6. They might take, but then you take with the rook. They can't take back because rook a1 check. And all of a sudden, black would be winning. So if you like an imbalance, I mean, I think a rook, a bishop, and a pawn, when their minor pieces are not so great, I think that's very good for black. Once you get castled, it's just hard to stop 3 pieces. 3 pieces for a queen when they both equal each other. It's tough. You know, bishop and a knight are better than a rook. So that's that line. If you do not want to take the pawn on b2, then you could take and go knight c6, and then it's going to be normal. Just pawn d6, pawn g6, fianchetto, etc. There's one line I also forgot to talk about, and that is if they go c3 and queen c2. So yes, you win a pawn at the cost of getting checkmated. So don't do that. So if they go queen c2, take knight c6, they guard the pawn, right? They can't push d5 because of here. And then life is good. Then you could take and win a pawn. So they'd probably go pawn to e3, and then again, d6, g6, bishop g7, bishop f5, rook c8, knight b4, knight c2, and you win the game because they can't make a move. You're just able to make 8 moves in a row without them making a move. So, a short London course. Very easy to play. You'll never find yourself in a disadvantage. White rarely faces c5, but it's still played at top level. So try it out. Let me know what you think. I could do Jabava. I could do Banco. Let me know what opening videos you guys want next. Thank you as always for watching. Have a great day.